I am the director of the One Stop Student Center at USD, and I'm going to be going over a couple different things with you today. So give me one moment. I'm going to share my screen with you. Okay. So as Hillary mentioned, if you have not yet claimed your USD One account, I'm going to be going over that process with you, and we're going to go step by step through it. If you have already claimed it, feel free to just kind of relax and watch as we go through. But for everyone, what I would suggest is go ahead and open up a browser if you're with your computer right now. And you're going to want to search for My San Diego portal to get you to the My San Diego portal. Now, if you've already created a USD One account, you can log in and we'll pick right back up when I get to how to register for your classes and how to search for them. And for everyone else, what we're going to do is actually register and claim your USD One account. So you can see right here, I'll give you a moment. Again, just in a browser, go ahead and just search for My San Diego portal. It should come right up. And you're going to want to click where my green arrow is pointing, where it says register/claim your USD One account. So once you've done this, you're going to be presented with the first screen, which is just our policy agreement. So you'll want to go ahead and just look that over and hit continue at the bottom of the screen. You can see again, I've got a green arrow pointing for your reference. And this is where we're going to be able to have your account created. So you will need to put in your USD student ID number. That's going to be the ID that starts with the 2 zeros. And then you're going to enter the last 4 of your social security number. If you haven't put your social security number on file with us, you would put 4 zeros here instead. If you're not sure if you have, go ahead and first try the last 4 digits of your social. And if it doesn't let you continue back past this screen, then go ahead and try putting in the 4 zeros. And just a reminder, this session is being recorded, so if you miss anything, you can go back and reference this later. But now we're going to hit continue again, and your username is going to be automatically populated for you. You are going to want to write this down because your username is going to be your new email address for your USD email account. And then you'll go ahead and create a password, and you do want to take note of this as well. This is what's going to get you into the My San Diego portal going forward and allow you to check your email. And another important note about email, once you've created this account, make sure that you are checking your USD email account going forward because all sorts of departments are going to send you important information. For instance, the One Stop will be contacting you if you ever have anything that's needed for your financial aid or your bills. For example, we're going to send that to this account. And then we do ask that going forward, once this is created, you use your USD email account to contact us. That's the best way that we can verify your identity and ensure your privacy. Okay. So hopefully by now you've created your password, you've written it down, and we're going to be on to our next screen, which is your security questions. So this is just like any other website where you may have set up a login before. You'll need to go ahead and come up with 3 answers to your 3 security questions. These will be used if you ever get locked out of your account and you need to reset your password. You do have the opportunity, you can see there at the top, to put in an alternate email address, and you can select to receive a confirmation of your registration. So I know this one may take a couple more minutes to fill out, so I'm going to pause for just a moment to give anyone who's following along a chance to finish their security questions. Okay, so once you've set your security questions, you are all done. So if you're still working on them right now, that's perfectly fine, but you should reach this final screen, which is success. Your account has now been created. So one thing to point out is it will take 15 minutes for your account to become active and for you to be able to sign back into the portal. So as we go on to the next section of the presentation, about registering for classes. You won't be able to follow along live to register, so you'll just want to sit back and kind of take in the information, and you can access the presentation later, but you're going to have that 15-minute lag time before you get into your email or your portal. So let's go ahead and talk about registration. I know I mentioned that for those who just created their USD1 account, there is a 15-minute delay. Another reason why you may not be able to add your classes today is you could have a hold from our health center for immunization information. Don't worry if you do have this hold. It's very common for all of our new students to have it, but it just means that you'll need to submit your immunization information before you can actually add your classes. So I mentioned earlier that we help at the One Stop with financial aid and with your billing and payment. We can also help you troubleshoot your registration. Now, we won't be your point of contact for actually picking your classes. That's going to be the other team members that you see here today in the Kroc School. They'll be helping you with that. Ours is going to be if you ever need help with the logistics of adding classes. So for everyone who is signed into their portal right now, I'm going to have you go under the Torero Hub and click on My Academics, which you can see in the blue box on the left-hand side of your screen. And then you can click on Register for Classes. So once you've done this, you're going to be prompted to put in the term that you're registering for. So you can see that on the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, and you're going to type in Fall 2020. Now, if you do have any holds, you're going to see a message in red. I've given you an example in the bottom right. It will tell you if you have any holds. So if you get to that screen, not to worry, you still have time to address those, but you won't be able to add classes today. For those of you who do not have any holds, you will see the next screen where you can select Register for Classes, which is what I've highlighted in yellow. So once you click Register for Classes, you will be able to go ahead and search for the courses that you want. There's all different ways that you can pull up classes. For example, you can search by subject and course number. You can search by department. In my example here, I've put in Peace and Justice Studies. You have the option to just look at sections of courses that are open. And there's also an advanced search where you can search for classes by a particular day or a particular time and things like that. So feel free to play around with that course search. So once you've actually searched, let me go on to my next page. You are going to get a list of classes that are going to pull up. And I apologize, this looks a little bit small, but we'll get into some more close-up screenshots in just a minute. But you'll get this list of classes that will come up, and you'll have the course title, the instructor information, the meeting times for the class, and you'll have a button to your right that says Add. Now, for adding classes to your schedule, I like to kind of use the analogy that it's like online shopping. So when you click Add, picture the course going into your shopping cart, but it's not officially yours until you check out. So you can see the second screenshot below with the green arrows pointing. You'll need to hit Submit in order for that course to be yours and actually go on your schedule. So just remember, it's a two-step process of adding and submitting. The other thing I wanted to point out for you here, you can see the conditional add drop button next to my other green arrow. If you're ever in the scenario where you need to add one class and you want to only drop another class from your schedule, if your spot is secured in the new class, we recommend clicking that conditional add drop button. This will prevent you from accidentally dropping a class that you may not be able to get a spot in the other class you want. So we have this happen to students sometimes, so it's a nice safeguard to use. Something else I wanted to point out about registration, you may encounter needing to take two classes that have the same course number, for instance, a 494 class. These classes may have different titles, but the system only recognizes them under the course number of 494. If this is the case, you can add one of them yourself, and the other one you'll need to email the One Stop for help. And I'll show you where to locate all of our contact information at the very end of this presentation. So just a couple more things to point out for you. You may, while you're searching for classes, see some that are closed. For example, where my green arrow is pointing, we've got one that's showing as full. There may be some classes that have wait lists available, and you do have the option to add to as many wait lists as you would like. If you're on a wait list, notifications will go out if a spot opens up, and you'll have 24 hours to go back in and claim your seat. If you were to click on the title of a course from that course search, you'll see another window pop up, which is what I'm displaying here, and it will give you a lot of information about the class. You can see the course description, you can see if there are any restrictions or any prerequisites, which would mean you need to take a different class before enrolling in the class that you're looking at. So keep in mind, lots of information if you click on the title. I also wanted to point out, you can see right near the top under the title of the class, it says CRN. And if you're ever contacting One Stop to assist with your registration, we do request that you email us the CRN. So that's the course registration number and the title. This will ensure that we're registering you for the correct section. So I know that was a lot of information about registration. The last thing I wanted to share is the One Stop website. So you can see it here at sandiego.edu/onestop. This has all of the information you will need about billing and payment, the cost, financial aid if this is something that you're using, as well as registration. Our contact information is also on here. You can always email us at onestop@sandiego.edu, and we look forward to helping you, and welcome.
Thank you so much, Sibylla, and I hope you were all getting a sense of what a tight-knit community USD is. All of the staff and faculty at our university are really here to make sure you feel ready to go and that you have a successful academic career. So we are all here to help support you and support your well-being. So please never hesitate to contact Sibylla's team or our team at any time. So Sibylla, I think we can release you now. You don't have to stay for learning about our courses, but we'll see you soon. Thanks so much for your time. So now we will turn it over to Marissa, who is going to talk about what you should be registering for. So Marissa.
Hello, good morning. If it's still morning for you, good afternoon, good evening, depending where you are. I am Marissa Newman, your coordinator of student success. So I am here to help you with academic advising, career development, internship support, and any student resource question that you have while you're here with us at the Kroc School. So I'm gonna just help a little bit in going over what to register for. So first we have a program overview. These are the requirements for the MOSSE program. You'll take your foundations course this fall, which is 3 units. Then you have 6 units required in the core category. Of those 6, 3 must be from Kroc 521, Social Innovation, and then you can choose between Kroc 523, Social Entrepreneurship, and Kroc 510, Leadership and Organizations. Please note that the starred courses are only offered this fall. So if you are a full-time student and you are trying to complete your MOSSE degree by May, you will need to take Kroc 521, Social Innovation, this fall. And if you would like to take Social Entrepreneurship, you'll want to take that this fall as well, as you will not be able to in the spring. Then in your skills and methods area, you're required to take 6 units, and those are there. So 3 units from 524, your social innovation practicum, and then 3 units from Kroc 522, your impact evaluation course. Then you have a 1 unit portfolio requirement, and that is at the end of your program. And then you have 14 units of electives, and we have a wide array of electives. We here at the Kroc School, though we have 3 programs, social innovation, conflict management and resolution, and peace and justice, we know that students' interests and career goals overlap a lot. And so we encourage you to really explore the elective options. So here we see just a sample pathway for a full-time MOSSE student in the fall. This is not prescriptive. You do not have to take this exact pathway, but this is a sample. And complete sample pathways can be found on our website. It's hyperlinked on this slide. And so at the end of this presentation, you'll be able to go back and reference this and several other hyperlinks in this presentation. But this just gives you an idea of what 13 units in the fall for a MOSSE student could look like. And then here we have an example of a sample part-time pathway for a MOSSE student. This shows 7 units. Students, most of our students do work. Some work full-time, some work part-time. We have students taking anywhere from 3 to 14, 15 units per semester. So once again, these are samples, but this just gives you kind of an idea of what it might look like. So like I said, this fall, you will all be taking foundations. This course is a really, really helpful way to kind of get all of our new students on the same page. So this course includes students from all 3 of our programs, and it's an incredible opportunity not only to discuss big ideas about social innovation and peace building and conflict in the world, but to get to know your peers as well. The registration for foundations can be confusing, so I'm going to attempt to break it down, but please ask me any clarifying questions anytime after this presentation. So this first slide shows weeks 1 through 8. For weeks 1 through 8 of this fall semester, you will be taking foundations lecture, which happens on Tuesday evening at 5:30. And you're automatically registered for that when you register for your Thursday discussion. So there are 3 options for your discussion, and I'll show you those in a minute. You'll choose one of those Thursday options, and then once you register for the discussion, you'll be registered for the lecture. Here, I have circled the lecture that everybody will be in on Tuesday, and then I have circled one of the 3 options that you could take for your discussion. Next, we're going to look at weeks 9 through 14. So starting in week 9 of fall semester, your foundations lecture is over and you'll only have your discussion. Your discussion will convert to a 3-hour course. And so I have that circled here. So notice this student, they chose to take the discussion with Professor Choi Fitzpatrick. So for weeks 1 through 8, they were in their Tuesday lecture at 5:30. For weeks 1 through 8, they were in their discussion at 9:15 a.m. to 10:35 a.m. And then weeks 9 through 14, they were only in their discussion, which still starts at 9:15 a.m., but it now ends at 12:05 p.m. And like I said, it can be a bit confusing, but we're going to show you what it looks like in Banner, which is our registration system. So Louise is going to share her screen on that. So this is what it looks like when you're registering for foundations. I'm going to highlight your 3 discussion options because that's what you'll choose and that's what you'll register for. The first one is Professor Choi Fitzpatrick. So his discussion, like I mentioned in the previous slide, is Thursdays, 9:15 a.m. So you'll register for that 9:15 to 10:35 a.m. discussion. You'll automatically be registered for the Tuesday evening lecture, and at week 9, it'll automatically convert to a 9:15 to 12:05 p.m. discussion. The next option is Professor Meads. So his discussion that you'll choose is 2:30 to 3:50 p.m. on Thursdays. His has another caveat, and that is that at week 9, the discussion changes to Tuesdays, but it just changes to the time of the lecture. So you can see here, if you choose Professor Mead, you'll just need to be available Thursdays, 2:30 to 3:50 p.m. for weeks 1 through 8, and then Tuesday evening. It'll be your lecture for the first 8 weeks, and then for the rest of the time, it'll be your discussion. And your third and last option is Professor Fryer. So you might want to choose his discussion, which is Thursday evenings. So it'll be Thursday 5:30 to 6:50 for the first 8 weeks, an hour and a half. And then after that, it'll just convert to 3 hours, 5:30 to 8:20 p.m. So you'll choose one of those 3 options and you'll register for the discussion. Thanks, Louise, for sharing your screen on that. And once again, please feel free to ask me any questions when you're registering. Okay, so that was a zoomed in look at foundations. Now we're gonna zoom back out and we're gonna look at the big picture again. So this is kind of a choose your own adventure or choose your own path, map your own way through the Kroc School. This fall, you will take foundations, and then you have options about your core courses, skills and methods, and electives. Go back and reference one of the first slides that I showed you. Remember, if you're a full-time student, you'll need to take certain courses this fall. Certain ones are only offered this fall, but you still have flexibility. So here I've highlighted just some elective ideas. We have so many, so please reference the course schedule and the course descriptions, which are hyperlinked on this slide, which you'll receive. They're on our student resources site. We have the course schedule for intersession and summer or spring as well. And so you'll be able to, try to map your path as much as possible. But here I just wanted to highlight that we have electives that are 3 units, 2 units, and 1 unit. Here I've highlighted leadership and organizations, data visualization and analytics, and design thinking. This shows you kind of the diversity in not only unit amount, but subject and course offerings that we have. And I also want to add that I have specific MOSSE advising hours drop in Thursdays, 2 to 3 p.m. And you can always make an appointment with me. So one more thing before I finish with you here is I wanted to talk about your field-based practicum requirement. So once again, if you're a full-time student and you are finishing by May of 2021, you will definitely need to take one of these courses to fulfill that requirement this year. So I'm highlighting what we have offered this year. We have a couple in intersession, which is 4 weeks, January 2021. And then we have one offering in spring of 2021, in case you can't do the January or in case, the spring just works better for you. The intersession courses are Social Innovation Practicum and Social Innovation on the Border. Social Innovation on the Border is pretty much self-explanatory. If you are interested in immigration and border issues, I highly recommend taking that practicum. So that's 4 weeks during January 2021. The Social Innovation Practicum, Kroc 524, the specific subject changes year to year because we partner with local organizations in San Diego that are innovating in incredible ways. So here I have hyperlinked a blog post from our practicum last January. And in the past, we've worked with organizations such as Classy, San Diego, and San Diego Grantmakers. We've also had students work on issues such as homelessness. It's a really, really, really great practicum. And then if those don't work for you, or if you would rather do the spring course, it's a great offering as well. So in the past, we have done 1 week during spring break and gone to Columbia and partnered with social innovation ventures there. And it's an amazing opportunity. Now, with that said, we don't know what the state of the world will be spring of 2021 during spring break. If we can go to Columbia, we will. If we cannot, however, we will make sure that there is a spring 2021 high impact practicum offering for you. And that's about it for me. Back to you, Hillary.
Thanks, Marissa. I know that's so much to take in, so let's go over our next steps. And I have 4 questions I've gotten from the chat, so please keep coming, all these great questions coming in, and we're gonna have plenty of time to address those and have a conversation with you. So what's next? I know you're all reading your weekly newsletters that come every Friday. Get ready to remake the world. If you're not, please open those newsletters, click on all the links, read all the information. We talk about the hybrid model. We talk about what to expect this fall. We talk about the upcoming deadlines for your deposits and immunization. We have helpful information for our international students straight from the USC's international office. We talk about orientation. We talk about ways to get involved on campus and in the Kroc school. Please take the time. We are trying to consolidate all the information you need to be successful into this weekly communication. So please take a moment and read those every Friday. As Sibylla mentioned, before you can register for classes, you need to make sure you made your deposit and your immunization records have been submitted. And how do you do those things? They're in your newsletter that I sent on Friday. So go back and check those if you're looking for instructions. Also in that newsletter, we need responses by this Friday, or Louise and I will be following up with you if we don't see your response, on how you want your name badge printed for your Kroc student name badge. We make beautiful name badges for all of you. Please make sure you tell us how you want those printed. And also in that survey, we're asking questions about the hybrid model, about what you think your plans might be this fall. And just know what you give us today is not the end all be all. We're just trying to make appropriate plans for capacity to make sure everybody's safe in our classrooms. And once you've made your deposit and all your other requirements have been met, you can register for classes. We do have very big classes coming in this fall. So we are expecting some classes to be waitlisted. So please register early for the ones you are really excited about. If you haven't already, join the student Facebook group. It's a great place to meet returning students and students in your own cohort. Talk about San Diego. I know a lot of you are local and you give a great advice to our students moving here about what to expect, where to live, the best spots for food or for going to the beach. So please join that Facebook group. Also in the newsletter are your summer reading assignments the faculty have assigned and the 2 summer salon series we are going to hold. And I will be reminding you about those salon series dates in those newsletters over the next few weeks. Tuition is due August 26th, and the way time feels right now, that's going to be here before you know it. Orientation is September 1st and classes start September 2nd. The last day you can drop or add classes will be September 7th. So these are all very important dates for you to keep in mind. So now we're going to move on to a bunch of these great questions, which so far is a lot about the hybrid and remote model. So I'll just say, to address a lot of these concerns, that USD is fully prepared and working around the clock to make sure our campus is open and safe. And we are meeting all of the county and state and federal requirements that have been, health codes that have been put in place. So our classes will not exceed the capacity that's required. Every indoor class will, be, have 6 feet around each person to ensure social distancing. All students, staff, faculty, visitors on campus are required to wear masks to cover their nose and mouth at all times. We have so much hand sanitizer being ordered. You're gonna see sanitizer everywhere you go, with a lot of instructions on how to properly wash your hands and keep yourself safe. We are doing things like utilizing our beautiful theater in the Kroc School to hold a lot of our classes. It's a gorgeous giant space that we can spread you all out and keep you all safe. And every classroom will be equipped with cameras for those of you who maybe have immune compromised systems, compromised immune systems, or maybe somebody in your household does. You don't feel safe coming out to small gatherings for class. You are expected to synchronously attend class. So if class is at 10 a.m. on Thursday, you are attending class and meeting your participation requirements, whether you are in person or remote learning, and no matter the time zone too. So the students, our schools is really an intimate experience, and having those group discussions is a big part of our outcomes. So we really want all the students, we expect all the students to attend class, whether that's in person or remotely at the designated time. So I think that addresses a lot of the concerns. So we'll go ahead and read these questions, and Marissa can add her expertise and her knowledge to these questions too. But keep these questions coming. I haven't seen any more populate, so please keep those coming. So Marissa, are there any restrictions on what electives we can take? So for example, if a course is in another school entirely, how will we know which graduate classes are open to us?
Yes, that's a great question. So it kind of depends on which school on campus you're looking in. SOLS, which is the School of Leadership and Education Sciences, is a popular place for our students to take graduate level electives because they have a lot of leadership and really dynamic course offerings that, you know, kind of coincide with our students' interests. So it depends on the course there. It might have prerequisites. You can just contact that faculty. There are courses in the business school that our students can take, and those are predetermined which ones are approved, and that information is posted on our student resource site. So Mossy students especially do enjoy taking a business course here and there because they have like global supply chain management and things like that that apply to social innovation. So once again, just check out our student resource site for that.
Okay, with a course like Foundations that has a group discussion Tuesday, Thursdays at a specific time, will this be consistent whether you are in person or remote?
Yes. So I think that gets back to the hybrid question. And so we do expect students to attend class at the time of the class, whether you are attending in person or remotely. The courses will be happening at the scheduled times.
And I believe faculty will set their own, grading when you get your syllabus, but they will expect you to meet those participation requirements, no matter if you're remote or in person. Do we know how long it will be remotely or hybrid, or kind of an estimate? Oh, I wish we did. I wish the whole world knew. No, but California, I think, has been erring on the side of caution, which is great. San Diego is a large city, and we've been erring on the side of caution and following all possible guidelines set by health officials. So, and USD obviously cares about the well-being of their students, staff, and faculty above anything else. So we're just going with the flow. That's why we are setting up our classrooms to be able to pivot to remote learning if necessary. So if a student feels sick, we do not want you coming to class. Or if with contact tracing going on now, if you've been contacted and you have to go into quarantine for 2 weeks, all those things we are ready to go online so your education doesn't suffer. Do you have anything else to add to that, Marissa?
No.
I think the next one kind of is the same thing. Do you know what classes will be virtual or in person? They're all in person.
Yes.
They're all in person with the option of joining remotely.
Yes.
Are we able to make decisions as the semester goes on in terms of choosing to show up in person, but maybe we start to feel differently? Can we just show up online, or do we have to let you know?
I think it would be best to let your professors know. So we're asking all of our new and continuing students to let us know by June 26th what your plans are. And that's mostly so that we can plan classroom capacity so that everybody can be in, who wants to be in the classroom physically can be with 6 feet diameter around them for safety. If midway through the semester, if anything changes on your end or on our end, perhaps there's, a surge in cases and the university needs to change their methods, of course we would let you know. And we would like you to let us know, and especially your faculty. So it would be best if, the first 6 weeks you've been showing up in person and then suddenly you stop. It would be best that if you talk to your faculty about that, just so they know what's going on with you and what they can expect from you in terms of participation.
Are we still going to be assigned a faculty advisor for our electives? If so, should we wait until we talk to them before we register for electives?
You will be assigned a faculty advisor, and your faculty advisor is one of the best people you can talk to. However, I think that right now you should register, and you can talk to me, you can talk to Hillary, you can talk about, your goals, your career goals, what you're looking to focus on at the Kroc School. Get all registered now. And then once you're assigned your faculty advisor, which will be a little later in the summer, you can always add and drop courses if you realize, oh, I'd really rather take this other course. That's totally fine. You have a week, the first week to do that. And the deadline is September 7th.
I'm not sure we have the answer to this, Marissa. Will tuition be different for in-person versus remote?
We have, Hillary and Louise and I do not have information on if tuition will change. If it will, we will definitely let you know as soon as possible. But we don't have any information on that.
And I think so far from our survey responses for returning students and incoming students, it seems like the majority of people are planning on being in person, but we'll see how that develops.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good question. If we want to start off as a full-time student and transition to part-time, is that an option? Is there a deadline for when we need to notify you of our status?
That is an excellent question. And yes, you can switch from part-time to full-time or vice versa. You can go back and forth. Just talk to me about it while you're in your program and, while things are shifting and changing, so that I can help you plan out your courses for the rest of your time here. Also talk to your faculty advisor, of course. The main thing to keep in mind about switching from full-time to part-time is financial aid and scholarships. So international students usually have a requirement that they must be full-time, which is considered 9 units or more. And then if you have certain scholarships or financial aid that require you to maintain a full-time standing, then that would be 9 units or more. We are happy to have part-time students, and if that works for your schedule and works for you financially, that's totally fine. Just kind of keep us posted, because we want to make sure that you're hitting all of your goals and you're fulfilling all your requirements, because some courses are only offered in the fall or only offered in the spring. And so we just want to make sure that none of your requirements slip through the cracks, and then you have to, stay around for another semester or year because we forgot or, it slipped through.
Can I choose to be remote for some classes and in person to others?
I believe the answer to that is yes. Hillary, do you have?
I don't have a solid answer on that. I see that's from VJC. I don't see what your name is, but will you email me, please, with that question, and we will give you a definite answer for that. I think our talking point is we want to be as flexible and supportive for your health and well-being. So, and I think that's it for questions, everyone. So please, we still have 15 minutes and we are here for you. There have to be more questions. Marissa is also in charge of career and internships. So Those would be great questions if you want to throw those out there now.
You'll be receiving a lot more information on our career development programming in August as well.
Marissa, is there a field course requirement?
Yes. So if you refer back to the previous slide, there's a 3-unit field-based practicum for your social innovation practicum requirement. Thanks, Louise. Yeah, so you can take one of these 3 courses to fulfill that. They're all 3 units.
And I think we can talk too some more about what USD is doing. Marissa, do you want to talk about the air?
Oh yeah, the HVAC system, which is the heating and cooling, the vents that circulate the air in the entire campus, that has been updated. And so the COVID-19, it travels in the air and it's a respiratory virus. So I felt a little better thinking about going back to the campus, knowing that the HVAC systems had been updated.
I see a question from me here. I'm missing the newsletters. Oh no, email me. Are they going to our personal email accounts, our USD email accounts? I've discovered, Louise, I think you can verify this. Once they claim and set up their USD email account, everything, all the official communication is sent there. So Robin, check your USD email account. And if you're still not getting that, email me, because that means the box is going to get checked or something, and we got to solve that. Our facility is going to be open, gym, medical center, libraries. The gym has to follow state of California and our San Diego County rules. And I think those are under limited capacity right now. I need to pay, I stopped going to the gym. I need to pay attention. Marissa, do you have any more insight on what is open on campus this fall?
I don't currently have a list. However, I do want to highlight that the medical center will be open definitely, and there is a San Diego County coronavirus testing center on campus. So all of those resources are open for sure. Gym, like Hillary said, will be just like any other gym in San Diego County, I'm pretty sure. And then the library, I'm not sure about that. We can look into that.
Yeah, we'll look into that. It is under construction right now, and it's going to be beautiful.
It's going to be amazing.
It's slated to be open very soon, and they've made a lot of small private study areas with beautiful glass walls where you can meet with study groups. So I'm hoping that will all be open and safe for you to use. And in terms of the gym, I mean, the great thing about San Diego is I run outside. You can run almost every single day here. And the beaches are open too, and surfing and swimming in the ocean is amazing. So that is a great thing about getting your exercise and taking care of your body outside is always an option. I don't know if I'll ever go back to a treadmill again. I don't know. I've really enjoyed running outside. And Fiona wanted to just verify with you, Marissa, that you have to take at least 9 units to be considered full-time.
Correct. And that mostly is important for your financial aid and scholarships and international students.
Okay, well, are there any other questions you all have for us? We are here for you. I want you to know we miss seeing people. So always feel free to email us or Zoom us. And I know Fiona and I had such a fun conversation the other day over Zoom. So we are here for you. So for financial aid questions, you can ask me, Fiona, and I will help with those. And any specific scholarship or any of that stuff, contact me. And then sometimes I'm not the right person on campus, but I'll put you in touch with the right office. I know that a lot of questions are very hard to clarify because we're all living in an unprecedented moment, but I would like to suggest to send us all FAQ about these questions. Yes, that exists on our website. That brings me to something we should have mentioned earlier, our student resource page. So where all of your newsletters are living after they're sent to you are on our student resource page. And we have a huge section of FAQs about the hybrid model, messages from our Associate Dean of Students, Emily Keene, and from our Dean of our school, Patricia Martez. There's messages from them, from our university president, Jim Harris. So please, I will send out that FAQ link if you haven't found it already. We talk through all of these options in print too, so you always have that resource. And as you go through as a student of the Kroc School, you'll find a lot more information for you, just for you, on our student resource page. So we'll make sure we share that with all you again. Do we have any more questions these last 10 minutes? I'll give it a minute. Okay, well, that's 10 minutes back to your day, early for lunch for some of us on the West Coast. And again, we are here for you. Marissa, I'll let you offer some closing remarks.
It's great to see some of you on video, and even though this is an unprecedented time, I would just like to say I'm so excited to meet you on a video chat, and I'm here to answer any of your questions about how to be successful at the Kroc School. It's great to see you all, and have a great day.
Yay! I'm here for you. You all know that. I hope you all have been in touch with me at least once, if not all the time. So I'm here for you. Keep emailing us. Louise is here for you. So we are so happy to interact with you. So thank you all, and have a wonderful Wednesday. Thank you.